Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn how we can identify classes of alkanols, okay, whether it is monohydric, dihydric or trihydric alkanol. Then after which we are going to learn how to identify primary, secondary or tertiary alkanol. Now first, what is an alkanol? Of course, an alkanol is a family of homologous compounds that characterizes presence of hydroxy group. So which means in any organic compound we come across and we see the hydroxy group present, it simply means that compound is an alkanol. Now without wasting time class, alkanol is classified into three different types. We have the monohydric alkanol, monohydric alkanol, dihydric, and the trihydric alkanol. Now class, what is monohydric alkanol? Now as the name implies mono, it simply means one. So which means the number of hydroxy ion present dictates the kind of alkanol it is. So if we have one hydroxy group present here, it means this alkanol is a monohydric alkanol. An example is ethanol. If we have something like this, CH3, CH2, the hydroxy OH. Now class, this compound is a monohydric alkanol. Now the reason is because one hydroxy group is present. That is why it is called what? A monohydric alkanol. Okay. What about dihydric alkanol? It is the same thing. Di means two. Okay. So the number of hydroxy group present will also dictate if it is dihydric, trihydric, or monohydric. Now, a typical example of dihydric alkanol is ethane 1,2-diol. Ethane 1,2-diol, and it's going to be like this. Ethane 1,2-diol. Okay, I'll write the IUPAC name 2-diol. Okay, now so the hydroxy group present here is 2. Okay, there are 2 hydroxy group present, so which means it is a dihydric alkanol. In turn, the same rules apply. If it is 3 hydroxy group present, it is what? A trihydric alkanol. A typical example is the propane 1,2,3-triol. Propane 1,2,3-triol. It's like this. Okay. Now, I know some of you will ask, how is it ethane 1,2-diol? How is it propane 1,2,3-triol? Now, very easy. But for the sake of, to confer specificity, for the sake of this class, it is solely to identify monohydric, dihydric, or trihydric alkanol. But if you want to know how to name organic compound, especially alkanol, please watch out for my subsequent uploads. Now, in this situation, class, we have propane. Yes, it is propane because we have 3 carbon atoms here. 3 carbon atom is propane. Okay, and then we have 3 hydroxy group present. Okay, so because we have 3 hydroxy group present, it is what? A trihydric alkanol. Now so far we have been able to establish, okay, the difference between monohydric, dihydric, and what? A trihydric alkanol. Now in turn class, a monohydric alkanol is divided into 3. We have the primary, the secondary, and of course the tertiary alkanol. Okay, now the primary alkanol class, we can actually identify primary, secondary, or tertiary, okay, based on the alpha carbon. If we can identify the alpha carbon, we can identify if it is primary, secondary, or tertiary alkanol. Now, what is alpha carbon? Now take for instance class, if I have something like this, alkanol, Okay, ethanol for instance. Now if I have something like this, CH3, CH2, OH. If I want to draw the structure of this, it becomes okay, OH, a hydroxy, right? Now class, this is the functional group. The hydroxy is the functional group, okay? Now, the number of carbon, okay, the carbon atom closer to the functional group is known as the alpha carbon. Now, if you look at this, we have only 2 carbon atoms here, 1, 2. So, which carbon is closer to the functional group? It is this one. So class, this is the alpha carbon. Alpha carbon. Now, if the alpha carbon has direct link with one methyl group, this is a methyl group, CH3. This is methyl group, 1, 2, 3. The hydrogen atom here is 3, you have 3. The carbon atom here is 1, you have 1. So this CH3 is the same as this. Now, if the alpha carbon has direct link with the methyl group, it is known as what? A primary. A primary alkanol. Okay, so ethanol is a primary alkanol. Why? Because the alpha carbon has direct link with one methyl group. What is the alpha carbon here again? Where is the alpha carbon? This is the alpha carbon. Where is the functional group? This is the functional group. And where is the methyl group? This is the methyl group. So if this alpha carbon has direct link with one CH3 methyl group, we say it is what? A primary alkanol. So class, ethanol is what? A primary alkanol. But some people will tell you that to identify if an alkanol is primary, secondary, or tertiary, it is usually the number of methyl group present. No, it is not so. Our subsequent example will expose that. Now, what about secondary alkanol? Now, secondary alkanol is actually when our alpha carbon, okay, has direct link with 2 methyl group. If the alpha carbon has direct link with the 2 methyl group, it is known as what? A secondary alkanol. I'll give you an example. If we have something like this, CH3, let me draw the structure rather. I have C. Of course, the hydroxy is here. Now we have now class, look at this compound. Where is the functional group? The hydroxy group. Of course, this is the hydroxy group. Now, what did I say concerning alpha carbon? An alpha carbon is that carbon that has direct link with the functional group. Now, which carbon atom has direct link with the functional group? It is this carbon atom. So this is the alpha carbon. Now, the alpha carbon has direct link with what? How many methyl group? 2 methyl group. Now look at it. It has direct link with this. This is CH3. CH3. A methyl group. And it also has another direct link with this. Okay? Another CH3. Are you getting it? Now, for the fact that the alpha carbon has direct link with 2 methyl group, we'll call this alkanol a secondary alkanol. Okay, a secondary alkanol. But don't forget, although it is secondary, but it is still a monohydric alkanol. It is a monohydric alkanol because it is only one hydroxyl group that is present. And of course, 2 methyl group. So while it is a monohydric, it is what? A secondary alkanol. Okay? Take note of that, don't forget. But in turn, this one is still a monohydric because it is only one hydroxyl group that is present. But it is what? A primary alkanol because it has only one methyl group present. Okay, now let me tell you why it is not good for you to say it is a secondary alkanol because it has two methyl group present. I'll give you why. Now if you have something like this, now class, ladies and gentlemen, now if you watch carefully, where is the functional group here? This is the functional group, right? The hydroxy. Sorry for the bad marker, I hope you can see it clearly. Now this is the functional group, the hydroxy. Now, can you identify the alpha carbon? Yes. And where is the alpha carbon? This is the alpha carbon, because it is the carbon that has direct link with the functional group. Now, in this instance, class, can you tell me, now there are two methyl group present, okay? But this is not a secondary alkanol. That is why it is wrong for you to say you identify whether it is primary, secondary, or tertiary by the number of methyl group present. Here we have two methyl group, but this compound here is still a primary alkanol because the alpha carbon is this one, and the alpha carbon has direct link to one methyl group. Where is the methyl group? It is this one, CH3, okay, methyl group. Although we have another methyl group here, but this methyl group does not have direct link with the alpha carbon. So because it is only one methyl group having direct link with the alpha carbon, we say this alkanol is what? A primary alkanol, regardless of the fact that we still have another methyl group present. Okay, so it is the alpha carbon, the position of the alpha carbon, that dictates if an alkanol will be primary, secondary, or tertiary. Okay, so don't forget. Now lastly, the tertiary alkanol. Okay, of course we are going to have something like this. Let me use just stop. Now, if we have something like this, CH3, in this instance, you can count from either side, because if you count 1, 2, 3, at carbon atom 3 you have the hydroxy group. If you count 1, 2, 3, at carbon atom 3 you have the hydroxy group. So if you start counting from either side, no problem. Now, where is the functional group here? Where is the hydroxy group? It is this. Now, can you identify the alpha carbon? It is this. Now, how many methyl group has direct link with the alpha carbon? Can you guess? 2 seconds, I guess. Anyways, mere looking at it, you know that since this is the alpha carbon, the link will be, of course, this methyl group has direct link with the alpha carbon. This methyl group has direct link with the alpha carbon. And of course, this methyl group direct link with the alpha carbon. So in our class, we have 3 methyl groups having direct link with the alpha carbon. In this situation, class, we say this alkanol is what? A tertiary alkanol. Yes, it is a tertiary alkanol, but it is also a monohydric alkanol. You know why? Have you forgotten? We only have one hydroxy group present. So because we have one hydroxy group present here, it is a monohydric alkanol. But in turn, it is a tertiary alkanol. Okay? You are going to wrap up this class by citing examples for you to identify. Now, if we have something like this, I have a compound like this. Alright, if you have a compound like this, now notice the presence of the hydroxy, okay, and also notice the position of the alpha carbon. Now, of course, this is the functional group, the hydroxy, and this is the alpha carbon, okay. So, the alpha carbon has direct link to how many methyl group? Now tell me. Consider this example and tell me, is it primary, is it secondary, or tertiary? Class, without wasting time, this is actually a secondary alkanol. The reason, we have methyl group, one methyl group here, and another methyl group. And these two methyl group, they have direct link with the alpha carbon, which is this and this. Okay, although there is another methyl group present, but this methyl group doesn't have direct link with the alpha carbon. So this is considered useless in terms of determining whether it is a primary or secondary, because it has no direct link with the alpha carbon. So class, this compound is what? A secondary alkanol. But what if you have something like this? Class, in a situation where one carbon bears the methyl group and the functional group, in most cases, that compound is usually a tertiary alkanol. Now look at this compound. You have 3 methyl group present, right? 1, 2, 3. Now notice that this is the functional group, and of course this is the alpha carbon. Now the alpha carbon is bearing or having direct link to 3 functional groups. That is this methyl group, this, another methyl group, and of course methyl group. So we have CH3, CH3, CH3. So because this 3 methyl group has direct bearing to the alpha carbon, we call this compound a tertiary alkanol. Okay? What about the primary? Don't forget, the primary will always be one methyl group or alkyl group, be as it may, having, if we have something like this class, where is the functional group? Of course, the hydroxy. Where is our alpha carbon? Of course, Alpha carbon is that carbon that is closer to the functional group. Okay, so this is our alpha carbon. Now, how many methyl group has direct link to the alpha carbon? Just one, and that is this one, CH3. So without wasting time, class, this is a primary alkanol. This is primary. So like I said, please do not judge the classification of an alkanol based on the number of methyl group present. No. What determines the position, what determines the type of alkanol is usually the position of the alpha carbon. Okay? Take note. Now class, the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary, they are all monohydric alkanol. Do you know why? Only one hydroxy group present. Only one hydroxy group present. Only one hydroxy group present. And of course, since there is only one hydroxy group present, what type of alkanol is that? A monohydric alkanol. Okay? Good. Now, in my subsequent upload, you are going to see how to start naming organic compounds or how to name alkanols. Okay? Guys, this is where we draw the curtain for today. Please watch out for my subsequent upload. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thank you.